Welcome, everyone, to another Monday Mindfulness meditation. I have been aware that today is the 95th birthday of Thich Nhat Hanh, my root teacher. And in his tradition, he always talks about the continuation. He never refers to birthdays. He always refers to the continuation of this life. So he is now 95. And it's been kind of hitting me strongly today because I don't think he's too long for the world. There was a letter from his community in Vietnam who's taking care of him that went out that I was going to read. Over the last year, Thai's health has weakened. The autumn rains have always been challenging for Thai's lungs and health and continue to be so. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today or something. This spring, Thai was not able to go outside to visit the temple grounds as much as he could last year. Nevertheless, the Sangha was delighted that when the Tu Hu temple renovation was finished, Thai was well enough to make a tour of the temple to visit the completed works. In recent months, Thai has been resting for most of the day with his eyes closed. Yet he is often very alert, present, and at peace. When the weather is fine, the attendants help Thai to go out onto the veranda of the deep listening hut to enjoy the sun. The pandemic time with Thai in a very quiet, the pandemic has meant that this past year has above all been a year for the young monastics in Hue to spend time with Thai in a very quiet yet joyful atmosphere, with many new young disciples taking turns to assist the attendant team. From time to time, the young nuns and monks come to the garden close to Thai's hut to sit around the fire and enjoy singing, music, and laughter together. It brings tears to my eyes because I remember being at that hut in Vietnam with Hugh, my husband, and Joan Halifax Roshi, and Sister Annabelle, who's a very senior nun in his tradition now. We were his first Western students to go to Vietnam at a time when he was still unable to go back. It was 1992. Yeah. And when I actually he asked me to carry a handwritten, the manuscript for one of his books in its handwritten form in Vietnamese to his hut where it could stay, along with a photograph of him as a novice. So I was really honored to do that. And when we presented it, so many of his former students and colleagues came and sat around and drank tea and shared poems, spontaneous songs and poems, as is the tradition. And it was just so moving to be there and to imagine him there. Now I'm so glad he has been able to go back. So, I have a long history with him that goes back to the 80s when I met him on his second trip to the US, and organized many retreats for him over the years. In the early days, spent a lot of time in retreat with him, receiving his teachings. And he married me and my husband Hugh in 1994, 3. I'm really so terrible at at remembering what year things happened, is it all was very close together. The trip to Vietnam, us getting married was 93, and then in 94 I received Dharma transmission from him to become a teacher. So those were some very full years. Anyway, after some time, because I was always also practicing in the Tibetan tradition, and with the treasure vases coming in, I then spent quite a few years not so closely with Thai. But when I went to Africa for the first time with the practice of the earth treasure vases, I went to Liberia and realized that the teachings of mindfulness would be incredibly helpful for the people there who had just emerged from this civil war. And it really brought me back into connection. So over this last decade or so, I've been closely connected with Thai and his community. And luckily, my peace building people in Liberia got to meet him before he had his stroke. But in any case, today, or the thing that has touched me so strongly in the last few years and before he had his stroke were his words around Mother Earth and that beautiful book called Love Letter to Mother Earth, which spoke to me so strongly. And there's a new book out called The Art of Saving the Planet, which I think is just out. And here's a quote from that I wanted to share. When you wake up and you see that the earth is not just the environment, the earth is us, you touch the nature of interbeing. And at that moment, you can have real communication with the earth. Then he says, we have to wake up together. And if we wake up together, then we have a chance. Our way of living, our way of life, and planning our future has led us into this situation. And now we need to look deeply to find a way out, not only as individuals, but as a collective, as a species. So I think this book will be a gift. And of course, it's woven through with teachings from his past because he's not teaching now. But I brought up a video today of Thich Nhat Hanh giving a teaching that is actually from some time ago. I don't know the year, but he mentions Nelson Mandela as president, so it was a while back. And he's so young, and it's so fun to see him looking energetic. And it's called Sitting, Resting, Sitting, Resting, Not Worrying. And so I haven't done this more than a few times to share my screen and play a video, but I'm going to try to do it. And for us to listen to Thai give a talk, and his voice is so beautiful always. And there are hundreds of videos of him giving Dharma talks online. And I didn't have a lot of time to search to find, like the perfect one, but I hope you'll enjoy it. And when it's over, we'll come back together and do our practice.
Sitting also can be very enjoyable. Sitting and doing nothing. Just enjoying the sitting, be enjoying your breathing, and feel that you are alive. The president of South Africa, Mr. Nelson Mandela, visited France some time ago. And when the press asked him what he would like to do the most, he said, what I want to do the most is just to sit down and doing nothing. Since the time I was released from prison, he said, I have not had a chance to sit down and to do nothing. For him, sitting down and doing nothing is great. He could not afford to do it. Among the monks who are there today. There is a very young monk of 17-year-old. He came from South Africa. And I told him to enjoy sitting for his president. So sitting meditation is not to become someone else, something else. It's not a struggle. You just enjoy your sitting. Sit and become aware that you are there alive. To be alive is already a miracle. And if you can touch the fact that you are there alive, that is already enlightenment. Because many people around us, they live the daily life, but they are not truly alive. They always run. They are not capable of dwelling in the present moment and touch the wonders of life that are available in the here and the now. When you sit with a cushion on a chair, in a chair, allow yourself to be comfortable. You may like to choose the kind of cushion that is fit to you, but it would be very pleasant if you can sit upright. And our head is on the same line with our back. Don't sit like this, sit like this. Don't do like this. And when you sit like that, allow all the muscles in your body to relax. Give up the struggle. Smile. When you smile, you help many hundreds of muscles on your face to release, to relax. And you allow the muscles on your shoulders to relax. You don't even have to bring your hands up like this. You can allow them to rest like this. Sitting is an art, and the art of resting first. It's very important that we learn how to rest. Many of us have lost our capacity of resting. We know that our body has the power of healing itself. But we just don't give it a chance to heal. We work our body too hard. We don't know how to allow our body to rest. By eating, by drinking, by working, we make our body suffer. We do not allow our body to rest. If only we know how to allow our body to rest, our body will know how to heal itself. Remember when you got a cut on your finger, you didn't have to do anything. You just clean the wound. You are not worried because you know that the cut will heal by itself alone. Your body has that capacity of healing. You trust your body. This is very important. We have to trust our body. To trust in the power of our body to heal itself. And we should learn how to allow our body to rest. The animals in the forest, when they got wounded, deeply wounded, they know how to do. They find a place, a quiet place, and they lie down many days, not thinking about eating or anything else. There is a wisdom in that, because they know that resting is the only way by which they can heal themselves. And we humans, we have lost that wisdom. We are over worried. We don't have the trust in our own body. And therefore, to learn how to allow our body to rest is very important. Many of us understand this in principle, and yet we do not have the methods in order to allow our body to rest, including the method of not eating. Not eating, fasting is a very wonderful practice. But we are afraid that if we don't eat, our body will not get the energy it needs. It is exactly that kind of worry that is responsible for the situation. There are many things we can learn in order to allow our body to rest, in order for it to heal itself. The same thing is true with our spirit. If there may be a zone of pain in our body, there are also zones of pain in our spirit, in our consciousness. And our consciousness, it has the power of healing itself also. But we don't allow it to heal. Every day we bring into it a lot of toxins, a lot of worries, a lot of anxieties. We force it to do so much. We don't know how to allow our consciousness, our spirit to rest. Because it seems that we have lost our confidence, our trust in our spirit. Our spirit, our soul, it has the power of healing itself. If only we know how to allow it to rest. To worry too much has become a habit energy in us. In the beginning, we did not worry too much, but we have learned to worry. And with time, the energy of worry, the habit energy of worry has become too strong. And that energy called worry is preventing the healing of our body and of our spirit. Therefore, we have to learn how to recognize that habit energy in us in order not to let us, to overwhelm us, and to stand on the way of the healing. We have the habit energy of running. We do not seem to believe that happiness is possible in the here and the now. Therefore, we have the tendency to run ahead and looking for happiness. Conditions of our own happiness do not seem to be there to be enough. We believe like that. And that is why we are always on the running, and that makes it impossible for us to enjoy what is there in the present moment. The habit of running within is responsible for our restlessness. Rushing, becoming restless, is a very important energy, negative energy in many of us. We have to recognize them. We know that if we become restless, peace cannot be possible, and happiness cannot be possible either. Therefore, how to embrace the energy of restlessness, how to stop the running, is very important. And Buddhist meditation can help us dealing with these matters. Every time the energy of running, the habit energy of running is pushing us. Every time we feel that energy of restlessness in us, we should know how to deal with them, how to recognize them, how to embrace them, how to smile to them, how to help them. The Buddha said it is possible to live happily in the present moment. That teaching of the Buddha does not seem to be very well known to people. Drishta Dharma Sukha Vihara is the Sanskrit expression. Drishta Dharma means the present moment, the here and the now. Sukha means happy. Sukha Vihari, living happily. And the Buddha also said that even if you have pain and sorrow within yourself, still it is possible for you to live happily in the present moment. Many of us would believe that unless we take the block of pain and sorrow out of us, happiness could not be possible. But the Buddha is saying something different. Suppose we throw into the river a rock. The rock will sink into the river. But if we have a boat, we can carry hundreds of pounds of rocks, and yet we don't sink into the river of suffering. Therefore, it's very important to secure a boat. And that boat can be seen as the energy of mindfulness that we can generate within us. The energy of mindfulness is something we cultivate by the practice of Buddhist meditation. And the secret of the practice is just to learn how to live each moment of your daily life mindfully. When you drink your water, drink it mindfully. And by drinking your water mindfully, you generate the energy of mindfulness, called mindfulness of drinking. You have the capacity of drinking your water mindfully. There is no doubt about it. Anyone would have that capacity of drinking mindfully his or her water. The only thing is whether you will want to do it. You want to train yourself in that art of drinking. Everyone has the capacity of walking mindfully. You make one step with your left foot, you are aware that you are making one step. And that is called mindfulness of walking. And all of us have the capacity of walking mindfully. But if we are determined to train ourselves in the art of mindful walking, we'll be able to stop running and to go back to the here and the now. In a practice center, people train themselves to do everything mindfully. Breathing mindfully, eating mindfully, walking mindfully. Speaking mindfully, drinking mindfully, eating mindfully, walking mindfully. That is the training. And if we continue to train ourselves like that, the seed of mindfulness in us will grow every day. And it will be very easy to touch that seed in order to invite the energy of mindfulness to come up and to guide us, to support us. And then around us, there are people who practice the same. My Dharma brother, my Dharma sister, everyone are doing the same because you practice the same kind of teaching. And everyone generates the energy of mindfulness. A practitioner always needs the support, the nourishment of his or her Sangha. Sangha means the community of brothers and sisters who practice with you. So if you are surrounded by a Sangha where members practice mindfulness, and if you can generate the energy of mindfulness by yourself, and then you have the two elements of the boat that you need, the two components of the boat that you need, and sticking to your mindfulness practice and sticking to your Sangha, you never sink into the river of suffering.
Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as the dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free, I am free, I am free.